Mm. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one. Don't know if this is gonna last. Uh, Hope it lasts. But funny thing is, we talked about football last night in the stream breaks, and then we talk about um anime for now in the stream stays. What's up, guys? Our red zone offense is the worst I've ever seen. Uh, Man, how much football have you been watching? If you say this is the worst you've ever seen, we've had worse red zone offenses than this, but I mean, it is what it is. Offensive coordinator is trash. I don't even have the energy to rebuttal. I just don't care anymore. Like I stopped caring after week one. I stopped caring after week one. Everybody on this trash. I just don't care. Everybody's trash on this. It really don't matter. So like Lamar's never had a game with zero passing touchdowns and two interceptions. Oh, trust me, he's gonna have that today. Hey, what's going on, Daniel? I'm not surprised by what's happening. I told you guys yesterday that the game's gonna come down to the Ravens offense versus the Browns defense. Maybe he's overrated if he doesn't run. Sure. I don't care anymore, guys. I don't. I do not care. Call these athletes trash. Call these coaches trash. Call these teams trash. I don't care. I'm not defending nobody. I don't care. I've already accepted the team ain't winning this year. My Dodgers won the World Series. I'm on cruise control. I don't care. So he could be the most overrated quarterback in the history of the game. I could care less. Um, so like I'm you guys are free to say whatever you want. You can call him overrated, call the coach overrated, call everybody overrated, call him trash. I'm not here to defend nothing. Like I said, I've come to terms with this team. They're not winning anything significant. They may not even make the playoffs. And I've accepted that. Like I said, my team won the World Series. I'm on cruise control for the rest of the year. I could care less what this team does. If they're not here to take anything seriously and they're not going to do the things that a serious contending team will do, then I could care less if they win or not. I'm a fan, so I'm going to be here to root and support, but I'm not going to do the whole defending thing or going or getting angry and going after this team. I don't have the energy to care anymore. And that's sad. It's really sad when you no longer have the energy to care. When you no longer have the energy to care about your football team, you're just on cruise control. There's just nothing left. You're just there and you're like, sure. So like, if this team wants to lose the Browns, go ahead. I don't care. If everyone wants to say Lamar is the most overrated player, I don't care. That's not my legacy. That's his legacy. They're not saying that about me. They're saying that about him. I just root and support this team, but I'm not gonna sit here and constantly have to defend. I just don't care. I don't have anything else here, man. I'm sorry. First and 10. First and 10 here. Shador has time, and yeah, he took too long, man. That pocket's not gonna hold up forever. Second down here for the Browns. Uh, yeah, three turnovers, offsides on fourth and four. Team deserves to lose. If they lose, that's their problem. If they miss the playoffs, that's their problem. At the end of the day, everybody knows what's at stake. If this is how they're gonna choose to play, so be it. I'll have a like recap of this because I really do. I always get this aspect of interest when it comes to these teams that just stink. Like when you see a problem, contending teams, legit contending teams, when you see a problem, you address it. When you see an issue, you address it. He'll never win a Super Bowl. That's his legacy. That's his problem. That's not my problem. I don't have to live with that. I got to go to work tomorrow. That's my legacy. That's his legacy. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. I'm a fan of this team. If you don't win a Super Bowl, the next quarterback come back. Maybe next quarterback after Lamar, if he wins, so be it. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And you go tell Lamar that after the game that ain't never going to win a Super Bowl. That's his legacy. That's what he got to deal with. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But yeah, I always wonder this about teams that they're just awful. Like your team, your offensive line is terrible. They cannot block for the quarterback. Falele's horrible. Voorhees is horrible. You've got two guys that are horrible. You've got two guys. Your left guard is terrible. Your right guard is terrible. You have 53 players on the roster, and then you have a practice squad. You have depth for every position on your team. At least one person for every position you have on offense and defense. You have depth pieces. Why aren't you at least making the attempt to change things? If your left guard is not performing and your right guard is not performing and it's actively hurting the game, why don't you go to those depth pieces? Because they have a Ben Cleveland. They have Emory Jones, who's healthy, and he's just been a healthy scratch because they don't think he's ready to go in. Like I'm saying, you have an Emory Jones, you have a Ben Cleveland, you can at least play them in either one of those sides. That's just one of my things. If Voorhees is doing terrible and Falele is doing terrible, a team that's trying to compete, a competent organization will say, look, we've got to make some changes, right? You would say that, right? You've got to make some changes. You got to make some changes. So if your offensive guards are not playing well week in and week out, don't you think you would want to at least make a change and see how things go? Maybe put Ben Cleveland in. Maybe put an Emory Jones. If they produce poorly, it's nothing different than what you're already seeing. You would at least make the attempt to change things. But our team doesn't do that. Our offensive line is terrible, and they're just living with it. Our quarterback is getting smoked out there, and they just live with it. And they don't make changes, and they just live with it. And then they go to the podium and then say the same old, tired, retired script that nobody cares about. And then they go about their day. And you expect the fans to believe that this team is serious about winning a championship? No, that's what bad organizations do. We see this with the Jets. Problems happening, we don't address those. We don't make changes. We stick with it. And then when it's too late, we attempt to make a change. When you have a bad team and things are going wrong, you don't make changes. You don't. You kind of just stick to what's happening here and you sit back and defend week in and week out and week in and week out. They sat back and defended Justin Fields, who's been playing terrible, and he's still the starting quarterback. They don't make changes. I just feel like if you're a team that's serious about competing and you're a team that's serious about contending, you would look to make some changes. You would look to make some changes with the play calling. You would look to make some changes with the personnel. You would look to try to do things. That they believe in their guys way too much, that's the mindset that losing franchises have. They believe in their guys too much because they refuse to make changes. That's the type of mindset that losing franchises have. I'm not going to move away from my quarterback that stinks because I believe in him. I'm not going to make changes on some of these personnel guys out there on defense, even though they're getting burned every week. You've got other people on this team and you don't make changes. That's what bad teams do. That's what bad organizations do. You can't say you're serious about competing and then you roll out there with the same thing. If you are viewed as a competing team and you're doing this, then you're just a stagnant football team. You're not competing, you're just stagnant. You've become complacent. You're a stagnant football team that's become complacent and you refuse to take those risks. That's why I will always respect a team like the LA Rams. They took a risk to win a championship. It worked. Yes, it hurt them in the immediate future, And for a few years, they weren't what they needed to be. But look at them now. And look at them over the last few years. They've still been good enough to compete and be a consistent playoff team and a consistent a Super Bowl contending team. You take some of those risks. You take some of those chances to try to win a championship. You got to be willing to take those risks. You've got to be willing to take those chances. In order to win a championship, that's what you have to do. For the teams that don't want to do that and stay complacent, that's how you go to never win a Super Bowl. You don't take those risks. And I'm not saying every single team that takes a risk goes on to win a Super Bowl. That's not how it always works out. For every Rams story, you get a story like, let's see, who do you want to say? Maybe the Cardinals, when they went all in and brought DeAndre Hopkins and all that stuff, and it didn't work out because Kyler got hurt. Like, I get it. It doesn't always work out. We've seen teams in the past that have taken those risks. And hell, the Cowboys have taken those risks, given up first-round pick. They've given up a lot of future capital in previous years to try to compete for a title now, and it just doesn't work out. I get it. I understand. I do get it. I do understand that not every team that takes a risk is going to ultimately win the championship. But if you are a team that's consistently making the playoffs, if you're a team that's consistently in contention and you continue to fall short, why not take some risks? And in this situation with the Ravens, I'm not even saying take a risk in terms of going to get these big pieces. They've never done that, and they never will. I'm talking about taking some risk and making some changes to your own personnel from the depth pieces you have. If Voorhees and Falele are not doing well, can we see what Ben Cleveland can do? Can we get Emory Jones in? Let's give it a shot and see what they can do. If they stink, what's the difference? Voorhees and Falele already stink. It'll be pretty much the same thing. But at least you made the attempt to try to do something differently. This is the same organization that had Keaton Mitchell ready to go week 1, and they had him as a healthy scratch for weeks and absolutely refused to put him on the field. They waited far too late for Keaton Mitchell to be able to come out here and be an impact player. Now they're trying to work him in week 10 and week 11, trying to give him looks. So it's just like, I don't understand how you could tell people, tell the fans, tell the media, tell the public that you're serious about competing, and you do this. It doesn't add up. I've seen this with other teams, not even just my team. I've seen this with other teams. You're just complacent. A consistent playoff team that's in the conversation for contention, not making changes when issues continue to arise the same way, that's a team that's just gotten complacent. You can't win like that. A team that's gotten that complacent is not winning a championship. And we know that this team's not going to win a title because they won't make those changes that need to be made. As Lamar gets touched again, first down for Flowers. So like this is what I'm talking about here. It's just not a good look. You cannot talk about the prestige of this organization, talking about them being a top-tier organization, and yet they're making decisions that showcase complacency. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So I'm at the point where I've accepted this. That's why I'm not even mad or affected by this. But I do question this. What's going on, Darth? I do question this. Because I always think about this. It's not like the Ravens are the only team that gets complacent or does this. We've seen this with other teams. But it's interesting to me as Lamar gets sacked again. Oh, he's still up. Lamar didn't go down, but they blew it dead. He didn't go down, but they blew it dead. However, so that's going to be a sack right there. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure these things out. Can't win big games with your team trash in the trenches. Of course. That's why this team's never going to win in January. Their offensive line is never good enough to do what they need to do. You're not going to win like that. It's not. Look at this. Another sack on Lamar. That's 5 sacks, and they're actively grabbing his legs. This is just going to get him hurt again. So, again, I look at these things. Ravens have had 9 plays for negative yards today. This is how you get... It's just a bad look, guys. Like, realistically, I'm being serious. Lamar is holding on to the ball too long. You're trying to initiate... This is another thing that you guys got to understand. This is where people are now getting on Todd Monken. You're talking about them holding the ball too long. They're trying to integrate these deep developing routes. If the play call has all the receivers going down the field, who's he going to throw the ball to? We're no different from the Steelers in the AFC. No, pretty much, we're no different from the Steelers in these situations. If all you're doing is the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result, you're just a complacent football team. Like, this team's not going to win anything significant. They're a complacent football team. 3rd down and 10 as pressure's coming again for Lamar. Here comes Myles Garrett. Lamar fires downfield. It's caught by Flowers. 1st down, Ravens. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't even care about the result of this game. Win or lose, we're watching these things happen year in and year out with the Ravens. How do you leave games like this? Whether they win or lose, the result of this game is not changing my mindset with this. The Ravens offensive line can't protect their quarterback, and they don't make changes. I asked these same things for Cincinnati. Cincinnati's offensive line not protecting Joe Burrow, causing him to get hurt multiple times, and then they don't do anything about it. The same mistakes happen over and over again, but Zach Taylor keeps staying there as the head coach. How do you keep doing the same things over and over again and just assume things are going to get better or change or help you win a championship? That's not going to help. If you're a contending team, sometimes it helps to take a little risk. If things aren't working out, sometimes it helps to change things up within your personnel. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, this offensive line is just not good. We can't protect our quarterback. This is the quickest way to get Lamar hurt again. And the Ravens watched film because nobody watches more film than these guys, but this is happening and they're doing nothing with it. 1st down here, they ran a screen. Keaton Mitchell gets the ball, 1st down. So, like, I look at this and I really questioned it, man, because it's hard for me to. Oh, look, Chiefs take the lead. Yeah, Denver, bro, you lose this game, it's going to be very icy. But yeah, I wonder these things. And I'll probably talk about this in my post-game recap. But, like, teams that are serious about competing, you can't get complacent. And yet Baltimore gets complacent. They'll get complacent with their play call. They'll get complacent with their personnel. There'll be issues that are actively there and they don't address it. I don't understand that. Not every team has a Myles Garrett. Darth, this isn't even about having a Myles Garrett. You act like this doesn't happen against Kansas City. You act like this doesn't happen against defenses that can blitz and put damage on us. Every time we play against Kansas City, Spags plays the exact same type of scheme. And we always get beat by it. Defenses moving forward, no, they just have to put pressure on our offensive line to get to Lamar. That's it. Just send pressure. You need to send interior pressure because the guards can't hold up. Not consistently. It has nothing to do with the whole Myles Garrett, no Myles Garrett thing. Like, Steelers have TJ Watt, Packer has Micah Parsons, Kansas City has Chris Jones. Like, these things do matter. Great team. Philadelphia has a wave of dudes. A wave of dudes on that front seven that can get to Lamar because they can destroy our offensive line. We saw it last year. If you're not going to make changes to improve on the offensive line and protect your quarterback, how can you tell anybody that you're actively serious about competing for a title? That doesn't make sense. 3rd down and 6 here. 5:14 left to go in this game. Let's just get this crap over with. Lamar in the shotgun here. Here comes the pressure. They're sending everybody. Lamar going to the end zone. Where's the flag? Where's the flag? No flag. Should have been defensive pass interference. No flag. Clear defensive pass interference. No flag. He grabbed the arm and yanked it down. That's defensive pass interference. That was actively defensive pass interference. And that's what you get, huh? Defensive pass interference, no call. Yo. Yep. It is. He did. You're not. It is. He did. It is. And- Yep. No, this is what it is, man. Hey, nah, you right. You right about that. 5 minutes left to go here. That was PI. I mean, I'm not even gonna argue. Refs are gonna miss calls here and there. Shouldn't even be in this type of situation with Cleveland of all teams. I'm expecting the Browns. Sorry, the Browns. I expect the Ravens defense to blink here and find a way to screw themselves over, or the Ravens turn the ball over again and put the defense in the compromising position. Again, these things right here with you cannot sit back and tell me you're a legitimate contending team when you're doing things like this. And I talked about it. Divisional matchups are always gonna be weird and crazy, but I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Like this isn't even just a Cleveland thing because I see some people talk about Miles Garrett. Not every team has Miles Garrett. Pittsburgh's got TJ Watt, and Pittsburgh always gives us fits because they know how to play against our offense. Kansas City has Chris Jones. They know how to play against our offense. Like there's teams within this conference that know how to play against us, and that's why we can't beat them consistently. And you don't make changes. In all honesty, again, with that, in all honesty, when you look at this team, the fact that the trenches look like this is so pathetic. You can't win like this. And there's no other choice. There's nowhere to go with this. They didn't invest in the offensive line, so this is what you're gonna get. Like I said, whether or not the Ravens survive and win or they go on to lose this game, it doesn't matter. You can't say this team's serious about competing when you're watching this. What about this screams serious contention? Let's be realistic here. There's nothing here that makes you sit back and say they're serious about competing. Look at the state of your offensive line. You can't protect your franchise quarterback. You made no changes there. The Rams have been trash all season, but this offense played bad for the past 2 weeks, especially against good defenses. And they'll continue to play bad against good defenses, and that offensive line will continue to get beat against good front sevens. We still got to deal with Pittsburgh twice. TJ Watt is going to be all over the damn place all day. That defense is going to get to Lamar all game. You still got Micah Parsons to deal with too in Green Bay. Defense ain't the problem in Green Bay. That defense is legit. Their offense is the problem. So Micah Parsons is going to be having a fun time, especially because he has help and he doesn't have to do everything like he had to do in Dallas. That defense for the Packers is serious. Incomplete pass here, second down coming up. Like, seriously, this game, if the PI was on the Ravens, you'd see flags all over. I don't care what the refs are doing in this aspect, bro. You shouldn't even be in this type of situation if you were serious about competing. The refs have been trash all year for every game. Again, so I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, the refs have been trash all year. They're not going to stop being trash. They will be trash. There's Sunday Night Football. They're going to be trash on Sunday Night Football. They'll be trash tomorrow night. They'll be trash week 12 all the way through. They'll be trash in the playoffs. Third down. Like the defense played well today, but again, you're not going up. I can't. It's hard for anybody to gauge what this defense is doing because you're not going up against top tier offenses. Meanwhile, you're going up against tough defenses, and your offensive line stinks. There's nothing you can do about it, bro. Yes, Shador's playing. He's been playing the entire second half. Dylan Gabriel got hurt before halftime, so coming out of the half, it was Shador. That's going to be intentional grounding. Also, I know people gonna get on Shador's case for this, man. I know people gonna get on Shador Sanders' case for this. He has not looked well today. And then people are going to be like, "Oh, we might have won this game, or we might whatever happens. If they lose, we might have won this game if Dylan Gabriel was in." I already know the talks for Shador Sanders coming up if the Browns lose this. But yeah, they're going to be on his case, Shador's case, if they lose this game. But it's anybody's game right now. Ravens offense can't block. Their offensive line can't block, and they've been consistently getting to Lamar. You just put your hope and faith in Myles Garrett. As long as you actually have the Ravens, having to play, as long as you don't get like a special teams return touchdown, you're fine. The Ravens offense can't score. The Ravens offense can't protect their quarterback. The Ravens offense can't do anything right now. That's a short punt. You would hope the Ravens could take advantage of this, but somehow it feels like an offensive. Feels like what's it called? A turnover's coming up. This is Sanders' first game. They need to relax. It's not like they're going to make the playoffs anyway. Yeah, see, the problem with that statement is a lot of people that were over defending Shador was actively on Dylan Gabriel's first performance, so people aren't going to listen to that. Because when Dylan Gabriel didn't play well his first game, people were willing to crucify him, and then some people were trying to say, "Well, hold on, it's his first start," and people were like, "He's not going to be anything anyway, so who cares?" That's a level of bias there, so you got to keep the same energy with Shador, even if it's in an unfortunate situation. First and 10, hand the ball to Derrick Henry, who gets dropped right there. Offensive line can't block. I just want this game to be over. I'm glad I did not have to sit here for 3 hours to watch this game. We've been here for 27 minutes because we came at the fourth quarter. San Francisco is giving the belt to Arizona right now. 4 minutes left, second and 12. Ravens have had 12 plays for negative yards today. They need to get into field goal range to take the lead. Oh, look at that offensive line, ready to just fold again. Here we go. Lamar takes a snap. Lamar fires across the middle. It is caught by DeAndre Hopkins. He is going to be short. Third down here, but that does get you into field goal range. He's a half yard short. Good catch here by D-Hop. Dang, the Rams won 21-19. I knew that would be a good game. I picked the Rams. I said, man, Rams Seahawks finna be one of those. I hope the Rams and Seahawks meet in the playoffs. I want an NFC West divisional matchup in the postseason. Third down and 1. Henry goes nowhere. Because the offensive line has no push. You've got this huge monster in Derrick Henry, and you can't pick up half a yard because the offensive line has no push. And now you got to make a choice. Do you go for it? They're going to do a whole Mark Andrews tush push crap. No, they're going to, yep, there's the tush push with Mark Andrews. What just happened? Andrews just took it in himself for the touchdown. What just happened? What just happened? What did I just witness? I don't know how you can even. I gotta make a recap of this game. What am I supposed to say? I don't I don't know what to say here. I mean, you have you had a horrible offensive game today. Lamar has 0 touchdowns and 2 picks because both his passes got deflected for picks. What is this? Um, this is such a funny game. I don't even know what to say there. I don't know what to say there because I saw Andrews take and I'm like, is he about to pitch it to Lamar again? And then he turned and then he took it and then cut up the field like on a roll on an end around, just cut up the field and just took off. And I'm like, what is going on? Well, if there's anything that you could say, that was certainly a surprising play. That was a surprising play. I don't know what to say there. I definitely caught Cleveland off guard. Today is a day for tight ends. I mean, I guess. Another bad offensive game. Dude, they're just trying to survive right now. This is terrible. They're not playing well. At this point, they're just trying to survive. A win is a win. Again, it'll be another week where we sit back and say a win is a win, but look at the problems here. You can't take this team serious and talk about competing with this offensive line. And no one wants to see this team get to the playoffs again just to fold. Like I said, win or lose, everything I just said the last 20 minutes doesn't change. When your offense can't protect your quarterback, how are you going to win in the postseason? Oy. That's cool for Washington, man. Congrats to him. Yeah, defense needs to get a stop for sure. Oh my goodness, this is wow. I don't know what to say, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm lost for words. If anything, that might be the most surprising call Todd Monken has ran all season long, and it worked. It fully caught Cleveland off guard. That's a great throw by Shador Sanders. Great play, but not sold on this team at all. How can you be sold after a performance like this? 2-minute warning here, and the Browns are at the Ravens 40. Can Shador lead a game-tying drive? This just feels like another day where you're trying to survive offensively. Defense, please don't piss me off at the end. You've done so good today. Like I said, win or lose, what we just spent the last 20, 25 minutes talking about doesn't change. You can't win with your offensive line playing this poorly. And you know the thing that's gonna frustrate everybody, that's gonna piss everybody off? They're just gonna chalk it up to Myles Garrett. That's it. They're just gonna chalk it up to Myles Garrett being Myles Garrett. Kansas City winning, that was to be expected. Kansas City winning the game is to be expected. I don't think anyone's surprised that Kansas City won the game. Is anybody surprised? Dude, the second I heard Patton Surtain's not playing, I said, all right, Kansas City for the win. As soon as I heard Surtain's not playing, I knew Kansas City would win. I guess I should take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. In terms of things that happened around the NFL today for Week 11, the um the Dolphins beat the Commanders. In where were they at? Was it Berlin? Wherever they were. Um, yeah, Dolphins beat Commanders. 49ers just put the smack down on the Cardinals. They beat them 41-22. Panthers beat the Falcons. The Panthers are 6-5. They win 30-27. Bills win a shoot-around with them and the Buccaneers. They win 44-32. Texans win against the Titans. It would have been embarrassing for the Texans. They would have lost. So Texans win. They're 5-5 now. Bears win a close one, 19-17 with the Vikings. Packers win 27-20 against the Giants. Steelers beat the Bengals 34-12. That's tough. So yeah, 34-12. The Chargers did not show up to play. The Jaguars are 6-4. They win 35-6. Chargers drop to 7-4. And since Kansas City's taking a dub here, this is gonna help them for their chances to get back in the division. Other than that, I think we're the last. Oh, Chiefs, Broncos. Oh, this is not over. You said the Chiefs. What do you mean the Chiefs won? There's still 5 minutes left, Nicholas. I thought the game was over. Man, there's still 5 minutes left, and Denver has the ball in Kansas City territory. It's a 3-point game. What do you mean the game is over? What do you mean that game is... Sam Darnold threw 4 picks? They were in Spain. That's where they were. Where in Spain, though? And Nicholas over here saying, look like Kansas City won. Dude, it's a 3-point game. It's a 3-point game with 5 minutes left. Denver has the ball in Kansas City territory. They're in field goal range to try to tie the game. Made me think the game was over. I was about to be like, oh yeah, Kansas City for sure. But the game's not even over. And it's 19-16. What you mean that game is over? And see, that's why I can't be trusting Nicholas, man. He be declaring he'll declare game over in the first quarter. 3rd down and 10 here, 1:51 left to go. Shador takes the snap. Pressure's coming. He's got to get rid of it quickly. He's got a wide open man. He breaks 2 tackles, gets in front of Hamilton, and picks up the first down. That is a hell of a play. Mahomes gets the ball with 4 minutes left. Did they score or did they turn the ball over? Let me see. Wouldn't matter. They kick it's 19-19. 4 minutes left, tie game. Kansas City gets the ball to try to go win this one. That's a great play by Jerry Jeudy. Here we go. Ravens defense going to fold at the end when they were doing their jobs for damn near, for 55 minutes. And they're going to fold here, 58. Shador's going to take off. Shador missed a wide open man down the field in the end zone, which would have been a touchdown to tie this game. Well, this is the game here. 1:08 left to go. 4th down and 5. They need a first down. Yes, Shador had him. Shador had him for a touchdown and just missed him. Yeah, he had him. He had him open for a touchdown. Oh, it's 3rd down and 5. I thought it was 4th down and 5. Excuse me. 3rd down and 5 here. 2 plays to pick up the first down. Let's see what happens. Pressure's coming. Shador to the end zone. Dropped. Wow, Chidobe Awuzie knocks that ball out of his hands. That should have been a touchdown. He just ripped it out. What a play from Chidobe Awuzie. He was there in coverage. It was great coverage by Awuzie. He's locating the ball so it's not PI. He sees the ball's in the hands of the receiver and just knocks it out of his hands. That is beautiful. That is how you play defense, man. He got an arm in there and just knocks it out of the receiver's hands. That is how you play defense. 4th down and 5, game on the line. Chidobe Awuzie making a great defensive play. If there's anything we can praise again this week, the defense has done their job. It's not their fault the offense can't score. Timeout here, 1:02 left, 4th and 5. Shador is showcasing that talent, man. Look at some of these throws that Shador has made. Denver left too much time on the clock. I mean, this is just assuming Denver doesn't get the ball back or Denver's defense doesn't make a stop, I guess. It's 4 minutes left, and both teams have 3 timeouts. 3rd down and 10 for the Chiefs at their own 26-yard line. 4th down and 21, Mahomes was sacked. So, Nicholas that just said the Broncos left too much time on the clock. The Broncos get the ball now with under 4 minutes and a chance to go take the lead. So, yeah, Denver left too much time for themselves, I guess. Because they just got to Mahomes on 3rd down. 4th and 5, game on the line at the 25 line. Let's see if it will be Shador's time. 4th and 5. Timeout. Ravens. All right. Denver's defense gets to Mahomes on 3rd down. They sack him, and the Broncos are going to get the football back. Fourth down and 5. Game on the line for the Browns. They got to pick up the 1st down here. Kyle Hamilton looks like he's going to blitz to Shador. Oh, he's going to back up into coverage. Shador, pressure's coming. He's got to keep this alive. Shador fires. Incomplete. No flag on the play, and that's going to be it. That is game. Turnover on downs. The Ravens defense stands tall, and the Ravens are going to win an ugly game here in Cleveland and go to 5-5. Ravens survive in Cleveland. A lot of things to take away from this game. Defense played well and did their job. We expected Cleveland to do. We expected Baltimore's defense to play well and do their job because they're going up against an awful Browns offense. When it was Dylan Gabriel or Shador coming in for his first ever activity in the NFL, we expected this. This is not a shock or surprise that the Ravens defense did their job. This was to be expected. The problem is the offense looking the way they did because the Browns defense is great. The Browns have a great defense, so we knew this would be problematic. But here's the issue. The Ravens offensive line is so poor that there's multiple teams that could take advantage of that, even if they don't have a Myles Garrett. Pittsburgh has a TJ Watt. Kansas City has a Chris Jones. Teams like Green Bay got a Micah Parsons. Teams that you're supposed to be competing with in this aspect in the postseason potentially. Well, except the Packers because they're in the NFC. But Kansas City, Pittsburgh, those guys, they have guys that can get to our quarterback. They've got defense that could put pressure on our quarterback because our offensive guards can't block. If this is not addressed, what are you going to do? That was a terrible game of football for the offense and a great defensive performance by the defense. Defense did their job. Offense played worse this week than they did last week. But you get the win, 23-16. At the end of the day, a win is a win. Whether it's a good or bad win, as long as you win in this league, people ignore everything else. You got an ugly win. And Baltimore, by the way. For the first time since 2020, Baltimore has swept the Cleveland Browns. Ravens have now won 4-4. The fact that we win this situation is crazy. It is. I mean, things have to be fixed. Bo Nix on 3rd and 15 is about to launch this. He's got time. Put it up there. 1st down. Come on, Bo. Beat the Chiefs. Give me something happy today. I need Kansas City to fall. This is the nasty part. The Texans are 5-5, and the Chiefs lose. They're 5-5. We're 5-5. We're still out of the playoffs. We lost to the Chiefs and we lost to the Texans. The only way the Ravens can make the playoffs is through the division. They have to win the AFC North. They're not going to be a wild card team. They don't have tiebreakers. They lost to the Bills right now. Bills aren't winning their division right now. So if they become a wild card team, Bills have a tiebreak over us. Chiefs are a wild card team right now. If they don't win their division, they have a tiebreak over us. The Colts look like they're going to win that division. Texans, if they're fighting for a playoff spot, they have a tiebreak over us. So the only way Baltimore is making the playoffs this year is through the divisional crown. They have to win the AFC North, which means they have 2 dates with Cleveland. I'm not Cleveland. They have 2 dates with Pittsburgh. They got 2 dates with Pittsburgh. Divisional games on the road are always tricky, but the Ravens almost beat themselves. They always find a way to beat themselves. We got to go 6-0 in the division to win it. Honestly, we just got to go 5-1. Get my heart medication ready, dude. I'm not sweating this. I'm not sweating over this team. I'm not gonna get emotionally crushed over this team. I'm gonna have the same even tone feeling the entire way through. So you can get your heart medication ready if you need it. I'm gonna be the same way, win or lose. I'm not finna panic or sweat about this. I'm not doing that for another year. Um, Pittsburgh. What's Pittsburgh's record in the division? They're 2-1. All right, that's the thing. Um, I don't think they're gonna sweep the division, but I think here's what needs to happen. They got to sweep Cincinnati and beat Pittsburgh once. Because if they beat Pittsburgh's 2-1 in the division, Baltimore's got to go 5-1 in the division. I don't see them sweeping Pittsburgh. They have to sweep Cincinnati. You sweep Cleveland now. You have to sweep Cincinnati. You sweep Cincinnati, that puts you 4-0 in the division. You split with Pittsburgh. You're 5-1. They at best can be 4-2. And at that point, if you have even records, you get the tiebreaker and win the division. They're not sweeping Pittsburgh, and they're not going to sweep this division. But can they sweep Cincinnati? Because if they can sweep Cincinnati, all they got to do is split with Pittsburgh, and they have that 5-1 advantage, and the division is theirs. So they have to sweep Cincinnati. You found a way to sweep Cleveland. You're 2-0 in the division. You've got to sweep Cincinnati. You sweep Cincinnati, you're 4-0. You split with Pittsburgh, you're 5-1. At that point, if you and Pittsburgh finish the year with the same record, you get the AFC North crown because you have a better head-to-head matchup. Not head-to-head. You have a better divisional record because you'll be 5-1. They'll be 4-2. So this is a year where the Ravens have to win their divisional games. Ravens got the Jets next week. If they're able to handle business there, they'll be over 500. Oh, God, that could have been picked. They would be, if they win next week against the Jets, they'll be 6-5, and they'll be over 500 for the first time this season. Oh, you know Justin Fields throwing for 250 yards, right? I'm going to let you know that now. Got called a fake fan for not wearing my Ravens merchandise to work or being excited about a win. Again, I don't really care if people want to. Fake fan, real fan. At the end of the day, who cares what people are going to say about you? You don't watch sports for them. You watch it for you. Imagine getting beat by Shador in his first game. I mean, it could have happened, but again, he didn't play the first half. He played the second half. Dylan Gabriel got them 6 points of offense. He got them 3. Sutton, get the first down. What are you doing? They're going to give him the first down, but you might have to take a look at this. But Ravens get the win. They're 2-0 in the division. The goal now, Thanksgiving comes up. Let me tell you right now, looking at this, Ravens got to win next week against the Jets. You win ugly, but a win is a win. A win is a win. You're second. You're still second in the AFC North. Cincinnati losing basically is gonna knock them out. What are they now? 3-6, 3-7. Let me see. The Bengals are 3-7. They're basically out of this. Bengals are 3-7. They're still technically in this, but honestly, Cincinnati next week. Who's Cincy got in next week? Cincy's got. Let me see. Let me look at their full schedule. Cincinnati lost to Pittsburgh in a game they had to have. Cincinnati has New England next week. That's a wrap. They got the Patriots next week. They're 3-7 before they face off against Baltimore on Thanksgiving. They got New England. No, they got New England next week. The Patriots aren't going to lose that game. So, Joe, I'm going to be real, man. Joe, I don't think it matters if you come. Sorry, Joe. Burrow, it don't matter if you come back. It really don't. It really don't. If you come back and the team is 3-8, who the hell cares? Baltimore's got the Jets next week. They've got the Patriots after the Jets. Not Patriots. After the Jets, they got Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. If Baltimore wins those 3 games, they've set themselves up to win the division. Bengals defense sucks. We know they suck. No one's surprised by that. The expectation is Burrow will be back by Thanksgiving. So that's what the expectation is. The expectation is Joe Burrow will be back by Thanksgiving, which isn't going to do much of anything here if the team's 3-8 by the time he comes back. But Baltimore, they've got the Jets next week, which they obviously should win that game. Then they got the Bengals on Thanksgiving, Pittsburgh at home, and then Cincinnati at Cincinnati. That 3-game stretch, Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cincy, Baltimore has to win all 3 of those games. If Baltimore wins those 3 games, they've set themselves up to win the division. If they win those 3 games, they set themselves up to win the division because at that point, if they beat the Bengals, Steelers, and Bengals, they will be 5-0 in the division. And that Week 18 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers, if Baltimore has a 1-game lead heading into Week 18, they're going to clinch the division. It won't matter if they lose to Pittsburgh. They will win the AFC North. So Baltimore's season comes down to those 3 games. The Thanksgiving game versus the Bengals, you're at home for that. The game where Pittsburgh's coming to Baltimore, and then the game where you got to go to Cincinnati. So, yeah. But next week, you got the Jets. You have a chance to go get back to over 500 for the first time this season. Got to see if you can go do it. 1st and 10 here. I want to see how this is going to end. Can Kansas City's defense make a stop? 56 seconds left. Denver has all 3 timeouts. They can take their time. They need to get into field goal range. They need to get into field goal range. We're probably going to be surviving against the Jets instead of blowing them out. At the end of the day, a win is a win, but these are the things we're going to be talking about when we sit back and say, you're not competing. If you legitimately cannot make stops, how are you going to win? If you can't make stops, how are you going to win? If you can't protect your quarterback, how are you going to win? At least the defense has been, the last 2 games, the defense carried. You're not going up against good teams, but the defense carried. This Browns offense is garbage. The Vikings offense has some talent, but J.J. McCarthy has clearly shown he ain't it right now. So you played against J.J. McCarthy, who's not good. You played against Dylan Gabriel, and then who's not good. And then Shador Sanders on his first ever career start. So I don't know what you were expecting from that. Bo Nix going deep. It's caught! First down inside the 20. Troy Franklin with the catch. They're set up for the field goal. They're set up for the field goal. They should go for more. Don't take a risk, but you're set up. First down, Broncos. They're set up, man. Do it, Denver. Beat Kansas City. At the end of the day, Baltimore's not making the playoffs unless they win the division. I don't care about the wild card seeds. We don't need no Kansas City Invitational. Let those guys go through the wild. Let them go on the road again, which they will, and make the Super Bowl. But I don't care. Right now, it's the regular season. Let's have fun here. Denver is going to win this division, man. Denver's got a chance to win this division. They're 8-2. You beat the Chiefs. You go to 9-2. Oh my goodness, the Broncos, bro. The Broncos got a real shot. Kansas City just used their last timeout. Honestly, you're inside the 20. You could go for a touchdown. I wouldn't do that. Just kill the clock. They can't stop the clock. Set up the field goal and get out of here. Bo Nix is going to take a knee. And he's going to take a knee to set up the game-winning field goal. He's going to take a knee to set up the game-winning field goal here. Let's see what happens. Here we go. I got to see this before we leave out because we have to do our recap of the game. Before we leave out, 35-yard field goal for the win and to take the Broncos and to, help and to give the Broncos a 9-2 start to the season. Let's put it like that. They hit this field goal, Broncos are 9-2, and Kansas City's 5-5. They missed this field goal, we're going to overtime. If it gets blocked, we're going to overtime. Here we go. Will Lutz, 12 career game-winning field goals. His last game-winning field goal was Week 9 against Houston. Here we go. 35-yard field goal for the win. He's got it. The Broncos are 9-2. They beat the Chiefs 22-19. Denver is set up to win the AFC West, and Kansas City finds themselves on the outside looking in for a wild card spot. Baltimore knows they got to win the AFC North to make the playoffs. Kansas City's fighting for their playoff lives. They will not miss the playoffs. Mark my words, the Chiefs will not miss the playoffs. But despite that, the Broncos are 9-2. They are primely set to win the AFC West. Let's see how this is going to go down the stretch. What a win by the Broncos. With that being said, guys, I'm going to end this here. I have to make my recap for this Ravens-Browns game, and then we'll just go from there. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for pulling up. I was only here for the fourth quarter, so we saw this fourth quarter chaos. Ravens got the win. 4 straight wins for the Ravens. Wasn't pretty. It was a very ugly game, but a win is a win. You take it and you move on the next week. So I will be seeing you guys later, man.